Tuesdays, about this time, we get a little political as we duke it out with a Democrat and a Republican here on the set. It is time for Party Scoopers. Sam and Craig are here. And Craig, is the temperature okay in the studio? Does it feel okay?
No, it feels great.
Do you need some water or anything?
The lights are a little bright.
Anything else that you need, just write it down and then we'll just take it over.
You need to ask me easier questions.
Okay.
How far away is the bathroom?
Is this a? I need an upgrade to my green room. Yeah.
Would you like a couch or would you like a lazy boy?
Couch.
Okay. What are we talking about here? Because again, it got out of hand.
Yeah, look, the CNBC debate was kind of crazy. And the Republican candidates have kind of lashed out about it. And this is the big problem. I kind of always thought it was a mistake for the RNC to take or say that they had all this control over the debates, and then you see these debates and everyone complaining about them. And I thought the tone of the debate last week was kind of inappropriate, and you saw the candidates kind of lash out against it during the debate. And so now all 17,000 campaigns are now going to negotiate with the sponsoring organizations, and so now there's a lot of question marks.
That was one of the points. I was joking about the temperature being okay, and that was one of Trump's deals, was the temperature of the room. They want to negotiate the temperature.
It was like a two-page list of demands.
You have people that know nothing of putting together a TV show program, trying to get what they want, while you have a news channel that's trying to have ratings and create a good evening of entertainment. I'm sorry, but that's basically what it is.
Sure.
You have ads, you have people paying money, and they're trying to get people to watch. So they're going to try and set the tone in a certain way. Well, you have Ben Carson saying, "I want 5 minutes to do my opening spiel," and another
I thought it was hilarious that Ben Carson says, "I want a 5-minute open and a 5-minute closing statement," because if you follow any of these debates, no one gets 10 minutes of total speaking time.
Ever.
So he's essentially saying, "I don't want you to ask me any questions."
And they're like,
I get if you're Ben Carson, because he's not one that ever gets down to specifics.
Now, Sam, what was the take on your side watching all this going on?
I mean, it was fun to watch, of course, from my side. But I think the questions, the intent of the questions, I think during the CNBC debate were good ones. I mean, they wanted to, ask about tax plans and how, did the math add up? They wanted to know, what is Donald Trump doing? But the way they phrased it was almost too cute, where it just came off as condescending. And I think,
Well, so you guys ask people questions for a living. I ask people questions for a living, and I know if I'm trying to get something out of a particular candidate that I'm interviewing, there is a way to approach it.
Right.
And so you if I'm doing things well, I'm thinking about this before I sit down to the interview, and I think, okay, I want to get to this, but how's the best way for me to ask it? And the goal is to get a good answer, not necessarily to so the worst thing you could do is ask it in a way that they feel insulted, and then everyone's guard goes up. I mean, it's just like at home. If I'm trying to ask my wife to do something for me, there is an appropriate way for me to ask the question versus the, hey, why don't you do that? And then it's like, it's full on. Well, then why don't you pick up your socks?
So then I don't think the debate needs to change. It's just the moderators maybe need to be different, but there shouldn't necessarily need to be a big overhaul of the debate system.
I agree with that. And I think the other thing is that I think the other reason why there's some concern on the Republican side is now we've seen a Democrat debate. And I thought the Democrat debate, while they did ask, I thought they were kind of hard on Bernie Sanders, to be quite honest with you, that he was asked questions, he was put on the defensive all night, while Hillary Clinton wasn't. And so you have this, the first debate question on last Wednesday night was, tell us how you've sucked, and basically, and how you're gonna, be better. And we're all like, we'd love to see Hillary Clinton have to ask that, because you ask someone like Hillary Clinton that question, you're going to think of Benghazi, the email stuff, all that stuff. And so it's just a negative way to do it, whereas I think if you want to get to someone's faults, you need to ask a more probing question. And the other thing that I really dislike in these debates is there's a really good question that every one of these candidates needs to be asked. That's tough. that's fair, that'll help us learn something about them. And I don't feel like those questions are being asked today.
I agree with that. I almost think Anderson Cooper should just run all of them because he did it
And
so smoothly for the
right.
Democratic. But they also have to realize they had 5 people to deal with.
Yeah,
when you're looking at the Republicans, you have a whole
But I think if you
field of
look
people
at,
you're still trying to get
if you
through.
look at Anderson Cooper, I know the Republicans freaked out about George Stephanopoulos hosting a debate, but you got Jake Trapper, you got a lot of Chris Wallace with Fox News. There are enough major people that could be moderators of these debates that their own credibility would be on the line.
Right.
Those are the people who need to be the moderators. And I think, you know, and that's why having CNBC host it, and you have these people who I think are really trying to make a name for themselves, to prove to people that they're tough. You know, and the Republicans are saying, well, we should have Rush Limbaugh and Mark Levin and all. And I'm like, you got to be.
Sean
The last thing Republicans need to
You're
do
going back down the
is to
entertainment.
have more talk radio
I mean,
influence in
you're
the
going
party.
back down the entertainment venue as opposed to actually learning what their beliefs are.
And
so
so
what can we expect with the Republican debate that's coming up around the corner?
It'll be kinder and gentler. I think.
You think they're going to force in that direction?
I think it'll be a respectful debate so we can move past this.
Now, Sam, what about on the Democratic side?
Our next one's coming up is actually in Des Moines on the 14th. You know, it'll be interesting because
A week from Saturday.
Week from Saturday. It'll be the first one without Lincoln Chafee and Jim Webb, who I think were just distracting and kind of embarrassing in the last debate. Honestly, they were kind of.
So was O'Malley. I want to see a debate between just Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders
because it's going to come
in
down
that
to those
debate,
two?
I thought it was a good, interesting discussion between
But
those
we got to
two.
have another option in there.
Yeah,
so it'll be interesting when it's
I think
done.
O'Malley. I think this, you know, seeing him on stage with 2 other people, I think maybe he'll break through and finally, because he really didn't have a moment.
I
in
hope
the
he
last
steps
debate.
it up. I just thought he was awful.
Now, before we head to break, I want to get your opinion on local elections. We keep talking about national, presidential, things like that, but we want to remind everybody today is a special day because it is election day here locally as well, and we don't want people to forget about that.
Look, in politics, the more local the election, I think the more important. Because those people are making decisions that will directly impact you. And so while they don't get the attention they deserve, these are really important elections when you're starting to talk about how your city's run. And
the council seats today in Des Moines,
yeah, and it's different too. I mean, I live in Ankeny, and so the first time you have to go to the zoning board to build something or put up a fence, you realize, like, man, the people in charge of this really matter, and so you take a more of an interest. So I hope people turn out because that's your local government is the one you're going to deal with firsthand, and so take it seriously.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, well, we just want to remind everybody, if you're wondering where your voting polls are, you can always go to Iowa Secretary of State's website, also the Polk County Auditor's website to get more information today, because we want everybody to get out there and vote.
Now, Sam, did you vote before you came over today?
No, I will do it
On the way home?
on the way home or at lunch.
Because Sam lives across the street,
Yeah.
so okay. Just want to make sure. I want to make sure 'cause we know you live in Des Moines. All right.
Right.
All right.